Reason TV is a channel I've been aware of. Like they're just sure. Like I don't know their political leanings, but they're absolutely at least liberals, maybe possibly conservatives. 1968, Reason is the national leading libertarian magazine. There we go. Conservatives. But I saw this video of theirs. Let teens work. It's a short video. It's a 3-minute video. It has 14K views, only 1.2K upvotes. That is not a good metric. People saying my paperboy for the local publication at age 9, I delivered 10 papers to neighbors around my block. I ended up taking on a couple of blah, blah, blah. What is this? My guess is the pro-labor group feels that these kids will take away several low-income jobs from adult workers, but business should be allowed to offer jobs to kids who want to work. No kid wants. It is one thing for kids to have a paper route. I can accept that. I can accept kids doing lawn mowing and stuff like that. It's not something that's going to take away money from hardworking adults. But this is something else. This is something else.
You work here?
Yeah.
How old are you?
13.
Oh my god. Is that even allowed?
13.
This video went viral recently after it was uploaded to Twitter by a pro-labor advocacy group called More Perfect Union, which then pointed the
at least they correctly identify them.
At the National Restaurant Association, a lobby group funded by big food corporations, calling it a key driver behind new bills letting kids work dangerous jobs. Sure, taking drive-through orders and slinging waffle fries at a Chick-fil-A your dad owns sounds like the definition of danger.
For a kid, yeah. Yeah, there are hot oils. It is food. Kids are notoriously bad at hygiene. What? Yes, it's dangerous. If you mix up the orders, if you give someone something they didn't order, they might die. If you poison them because you're not hygienic enough, they might die. Yes, it's dangerous.
Exactly like working in a coal mine. Over the past year, to help...
What? Was it Arizona? Child labor. Didn't I see... And that's a good thing, Washington Examiner. No, I don't want that. In Iowa, legislature proposal lists 14 years work specific jobs in meat packing plants. And the Iowa bill will also protect companies from liability if a child got sick or injured or died while at work. Lawmakers in Minnesota, which is led by Democratic Governor Tim Walz, have filed a bill that would permit children aged 16 and 17 to work construction jobs. This Chick-fil-A is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just what regular people are interacting with. But she's mocking this as, it's nothing. What? It's not like they're working in the coal mines. No, they're just working construction jobs. Then nothing dangerous happens at construction jobs, right?
Deal with labor shortages, several states have pushed for legislative changes that would let more teenagers work. New Jersey enacted a bill allowing 16-year-olds to work up to 50 hours a week during summer break.
50 hours! 50 hours!
With parental approval. In Ohio, the legislature is considering a proposal that would make it possible.
Like, this is, okay, what this is doing, and the goal of this, obviously, the goal of it is to make it easier for employers to lower wages, because why would we pay a child as much as we would an adult? They can't do as much work, so we'll just pay them less, and they don't need the money as much. So the salaries are gonna start to be lower because of that, and also to make people to make it easier for an employer to go, we're just gonna hire someone else if you don't want to take this. If you can't work under these conditions, go ahead, fuck off. We'll just hire a kid. And the effect of this is only going to be felt by the working poor. They are the working class is the only one who is gonna be able to feel the effect of this. Period. There is at no point will a rich kid be forced to work to make ends meet for the family. At no point. Libertarians have very weird ideas about what kids can consent to. I don't think libertarians believe consent is real, if I'm being honest. Like, what libertarian cares about consent? And the only reason you don't care about consent is if you don't think it's real, right? Because if you believe it's real, maybe? Or do you just think that kids are just more intelligent than they are perceived? I don't know. Libertarians are weird. Weird as fuck. I talked to two libertarian friends of mine. One of whom works in a government position, and he wants society to crumble. Pretty much, he's like, no, I don't want society to exist. We shouldn't have a government. Period. I'm like, okay, okay. First, when he said it, I'm like, are you for real, bro? He's like, yeah. I couldn't handle it. But then later on, we've gone on to have discussions, and they for real think that, okay, I build a house, but nobody in my vicinity likes me, so they build a fence around me, and since they own that fence, I can't cross it without what's it called, the NAP, without violating the NAP in the non-aggression principle. So what I have to do is contact my friends who live somewhere around to build a fence around them, and then they have to call and on and on and on and on, because we can't attack each other, but we can build fences around each other, and you're not allowed to attack them. And it's just so fucking stupid. And they went, yeah, that's it. Okay, fuck you then. I don't want that. They want people to start working early rather than getting an education. They prefer a permanent ignorant underclass. Yeah. The only way they can control us is if they remove education, which is why here in Sweden, the right is very much in favor of private education. Why having private education be able to have a profit incentive That's why they're interested in that, because that's going to make it easier to poke holes in government or in municipal education systems. Friendly reminder that the closest thing to anarcho-capitalism in history was 19th century Sicily, leading to the rise of the mafia. Oh, well, you don't say. I am shocked that the mafia came from an anarcho-capitalist society. I am shocked. It's not like everyone with 2 brain cells to rub together realizes that an anarcho-capitalist society would just lead to corporate feudalism down the line, or just feudalism down the line. Like it's just gonna repeat the cycle of history. But yeah, so here's Sweden. The right is attacking education from a profit incentive structure. So the private schools have an incentive to get more kids, to get the government money for each kid, because every kid get a stipend, and they are incentivized to take as much away from that as possible. So rather than hiring a lot of teachers, they instead give kids friendlier or easier grades. Like that is, and we have seen the effects of this, but nothing is stopping it. Wealthy landowners just hire gangs to protect their property and coerce everyone else into submitting to them. We've seen this in America. This is American history. We have in New York, there were competing police departments. There were like Gangs of New York is the movie. I haven't seen it, but I believe it's about this. It's around that era. Competing police departments, competing fire departments, and all of this. And they actually fought each other over turfs. Like we've seen this. Anyway, I want to continue this video.
For 14 and 15-year-olds to work longer hours during the school year. And it's one of the few policies Democrats and Republicans in the state...
Okay. And the effects of kids on this, rich kids are going to have a childhood. Rich parents are going to be able to afford their kids an actual childhood with summer vacations and stuff like that. While the poor parents are going to have to force their kids to work at the factory. Fun for everyone.
State legislature agree on. Last month, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed a bill that eliminated a requirement that 14 and 15-year-olds obtain a permit before getting a job. These bills don't primarily benefit the big food lobby, as the union-backed group that posted the video claims.
Yes,
and it's
does.
not an evil...
Yes, it does. Most kids are gonna work at McDonald's or big or Burger King or any other food chain. Of course they are. Looks like they hired a kid to narrate this video. I guess they live by their principles. Yeah. She has been I'm gonna see if we can find her name, because she's been a I came to college looking for debate, but found self-censorship instead. Here it is. We're gonna do some internet archive. It is possible it was an open article when it began. Yep. Haha, suck it. I came to college eager to debate. I found self-censorship instead. This is the Girl by Emma Camp. Like, I remember when this dropped. I don't remember the the contents of it, but I do remember the article. She has changed quite a bit, but it is the same girl.
Plot to exploit children for profit. The people who stand to benefit most are actually teenagers themselves, who by having a job can learn to show up on time, follow instructions, work collaboratively, and manage.
Yeah, kids can learn to become drones. Fun. We already do this. It's called school. It's called school. We do this. They are demanded to show up on time. They are demanded to prove their work. They are demanded to do work at school. Why do they also have to do work at work?
Money that they earned themselves and therefore value more. I feel as if I've learned so much from this simple job over the past few years. One teen who worked as a ski instructor wrote to the New York Times for a 2022 piece about the reality of holding a part-time job while going to school. I've learned how to work with children, become a better teacher, and how to help different people based on how they learn new skills. My job has helped me personally in many ways.
Okay. Some kids find it educational. Okay. Recent TV is run by the Stossel guy. Recent TV Stossel is an American libertarian television presenter, author, and consumer journalist, blah, blah, blah. He is known for his career as a host, which includes Recent TV. Recent TV. Was he just a host? It doesn't say here. He's not on the editors. I can't seem to. In 2008, Matt Welch, not Walsh, became magazine editor-in-chief with Gillespie becoming editor-in-chief of Recent TV. In 2011, Gillespie and Welsh published How Libertarian Politics Can Fix What's Wrong with America. Catherine Magu Ward became the magazine editor-in-chief in June 2016, with Welch moving to an editor-at-large position. So it doesn't seem like... it's okay.
Super shy before I started, and now I am more confident. Added another high school student who is working 5 days a week after school. I have learned time management so that I can get from school to work and then come home and do homework.
God damn it. Like, the kids aren't going to have a future, are they? Like, there's not going to be any free time for kids to just be kids, is there?
Plenty of data that backs up the claim that holding a job as a teen has positive effects. A 2016 paper published in the Southern Economic Journal, for example, found that high schoolers working 20 hours a week during their senior year had 12% higher earnings in their careers than those that didn't. Although that
during their senior year, high school, aren't you 18 years old then? 17 to 18 years old. Yeah, 18-year-old. I can see some kids having a weekend job or a part-time job. I can see them being allowed to work, say, 8 hours a week or something. They're 16 hours perhaps, like 2 days, or multiple for that. I can see an argument being made for allowing kids to do this, but we can't allow kids to do that when there is no protection for adults.
That wage premium has declined.
And there's no protection for what kind of works kids are allowed to do.
The years for complicated reasons. In a job, teens are forced to discover or build out parts of themselves that are not required for school, home, or sports. Psychologist Lisa DeMoore told the Washington Post last year. She also stressed that having a job teaches kids to answer to adults who aren't their parents. Because when they do the same thing over and over, there's no need to grow.
When they do the same things over and over, like at a job,
to stop treating teenagers as inherently fragile, or they'll become that way. Real-world exposure to the challenge of getting paid to do things that other people value will benefit them for the rest of their lives.
This is just corporate propaganda. That's all it is. They just want kids to be better drones for the workforce. I can't see any other reasoning for defending Huckabee Sanders' child labor removal of child labor protections. Huckabee Sanders child labor. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed a law this week rolling back requirements that the state verify the age of workers under 16 and provide them with work certificates permitting them to work. Like, you could already work when you're over 16. Effectively, the new law signed by Republican governor applies to those who are 14 and 15-year-old because in most cases, Arkansas business can't employ those under 14. Under the Youth Hiring Act of 2023, children under 16 don't have to get the Division of Labor permission to be employed. The state also no longer has to verify the age of those under 16 before they take a job. This law doesn't change the hours or kinds of jobs kids can work. Well, that's something at least. The governor believes protecting kids is most important. But this permit was an arbitrary burden on parents to get permission from the government for their child to get a job, Sanders communication director Alexa Henning said in a statement to NPR. All child labor laws that actually protect children still apply, and we expect businesses to comply just as they are required to do now. Workers under 16 in Arkansas have had to get these permits for decades. Supporter of the new law says it gets rid of a tedious requirement. Tedious requirement protecting kids. Yes, it's a tedious requirement. How many kids under 16 are you employing that this becomes a tedious thing to do? Streamlines the hiring process and allows parents rather than the government to make decisions about their children. They're acting as if it's a free choice. Most kids who are forced to work aren't doing it out of choice. They're doing it out of necessity. But opponents say the work certificate protected vulnerable youth from exploitation. It was wild to listen to adults argue in favor of eliminating a one-page form that helps the Department of Labor ensure young workers aren't being exploited. The group Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families wrote about the law in a legislative session recap. Arkansas isn't the only state looking to make it easier to employ kids in a tight labor market and fill an economic need. That's all it is. It's just an economic need. It's just, we need to make sure that businesses get more money because that's the only metric we use to ensure our success. Bills in other states, including Iowa and Minnesota. By the way, Minnesota, what are you doing? You're Democratic. Minnesota governor. He's Democratic. What the fuck are you doing? Would allow some teenage... By the way, didn't Tim Walz signs bill free lunch? Yeah, look at this. Tim Walz on Friday signed a bill to provide free breakfast and lunch to all Minnesota students at eligible schools. Okay. Speaking of work, I have to go. See you next time, Blaze. Have a fun time at work. New Jersey expanded teens' working hours in 2022. But the bills are also occurring alongside a rising tide of minors employed in violation of child labor laws, which have more than tripled since 2015, and federal regulators have promised to crack down on businesses that employ minors in hazardous occupation. There's no excuse for why these alarming violations are occurring, with kids being employed where they shouldn't even be in the first place. Principal Deputy Administrator of Wage and Hour Division told NPR in February. Investigators from the Department of Labor found hundreds of children employed in dangerous jobs in meat packing plants. Last month, Packers Sanitation Services paid a $1.5 million fine, the maximum amount for employing 102 children to work in dangerous meat packing facility jobs. And that's these fines? What? How is there a maximum amount of fines? I can, like, there should be a maximum per child. Look at this. Look at this. Child labor laws, hazard occupation orders. The laws have just been plummeting, and this is going to go down again. Wait, was it violation? Child labor violations have been declining for years. Then after 2015, they started creeping back up. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yep. So now it's going to go up. Of course. Company that put children to work in meatpacking plants in Kansas and Nebraska pays maximum fine, which is a joke. Look at this kid. Oh well.